Hello, Nomad Sculpt, and this video is about how to create such a texture roller. I think it's for 3D printing. Okay, so I don't have a 3D printer, but I can show you how to wrap the texture around such a cylinder to create such an object. Okay, so let's start with a new object, and we need a cylinder for this. So I turn the wireframe on, and this primitive, we can adjust it a little bit. So I think something like this is okay for such a object. So we can validate this, and now we need the cell mask tool. We select the rectangular function and mask the top here, and then we mask the bottom. So like this. And here in the splitting option of the mask here, or the mask settings, make sure smoothness is off and the splitting here is none. So now split your cylinder like this. So the top and the bottom caps we don't need, you can delete it. So we have now such a nice cylinder. And here in the topology MISC menu, here you can unwrap the UV map here. Press unwrap. So it looks like this. Because I pressed unwrap BFF, so we press unwrap the the normal UV atlas, so like this. So it's nearly perfect. You see here at the bottom here is it's not complete okay. So here you find in the settings here there's a debug interface debug option, and here you find a normalize UV option. So press this button. So you see here now the UV is a perfect square. Nice. So we can hide the inspector, and now we need the textures here. So in the internet you can search pictures for such seamless repeating patterns. So yeah, let's choose something like this here and press on save to photos. So let's go to Nomad Sculpt, and here you need now the opacity slot here. Use this. It only works with the opacity slot. So here you see unsupported image extensions, so we have to use Procreate. So we have to import this photo and save it as a JPEG. So and now use the opacity slot again, photos, and you see here I have now 2 photos, so I use this one. So now the opacity works. So it looks fine. So, and if you need it in the other direction, here in Procreate, you can here use the invert or inverse function to get the negative of this. So we can try it with a negative. and use this one. So I like this more. Okay. The next step is here, please add a layer. So we need a layer for this. Without layer it doesn't work. So, and the next step is we need much more topology. Now at the moment we have 2160 vertices. We need about 500,000. So I think, yeah, this is okay, 500,000. Okay. And the next step is here, you have here a reproject vertex option. So we need here only the color slot and the rest is okay. So, and we can now reproject from itself here. Press. So I hope it works. Here when you press here on the color slot here in the layer on mask, you see here the object is now masked. So I can delete now here the opacity texture. So you see here now we have a nice mask on this object. The next step is here we have to close our object here, and there's a close holes option. And here we can set the resolution and press here the close holes. Now we have our end caps back here and at the bottom. And now we use the gizmo. So we need only this green direction here. So now we can scale it. We can go inside or outside, so something like this. So here's a thing you see here. Yeah, here are problems. So let's go a few steps back. So let's test it with open ends. So I think it looks nice. And here close now the holes. Yeah, I think it's nicer. So, yeah. We can use here the mask and clear the mask. Now our object is okay. And I think we use the voxel remesh here. Sorry. So I use a higher resolution. Something like this. So our wireframe is like this now. Okay. And here's the round all brush. Yeah, brush 1 time, 2 times to make it a little bit smoother. I think it's too much. Let's check the mesh. Intensity like this. Okay, and then it's possible to decimate the whole thing a little bit, 1, 2 times. Yeah, it's up to you for the printing, or I don't know what's the best resolution of the mesh, something like this here. I think it's okay. So yeah, so it's a nice endless pattern. Okay, without seams, I think it's clear and fine. Okay, so yeah, and if you like here, so I think we can add another cylinder, so something like this here. And we can here pin the pivot and go back to our cylinder, and when we use here the gizmo, we can validate this object and we can add a mirror. So something like this, and now we have, yeah, this object. Yeah, I think it's okay. Have fun with sculpting. Ciao.